What up, it's Monster Rez. We are back with part 2 of the lesson of monster masks on another Thursday. We're back. We are covering the 70s to the 90s. Right here is a really monumental time for mask makers. Like, this is a big showdown. So let's get into it. So, really monumental time for monster makers. It was a shit ton of inspiration going around. Don Post Studios hired Bill Malone, future director by the way, and he actually resculpted some of Pat Newman's works for the 900 line, 1100 line, a rehash of the 800 line. Bob Short also came in as well. David Ayers came in as well. A couple other sculptors that I can't recall of right now that helped sculpt for Don Post. They came into the scene, they resculpted some pieces, made some original works, amazing original works. The Bloody Werewolf was one that Bob Short made, and it was just a really badass design. Death Cyborg by Bill Malone as well. That piece is really good. David Ayers also did the Hunchback resculpt as well. There's a lot of good classics like Timberwolf as well. I believe 1975, they got the Star Trek license. And you got Spock, you got, Kirk, you got Gorn, got a couple of Omugato, Salt Vampire, great masks. I believe the Devil's Reign life cast from the 1960s from Captain Kirk's face, William Shatner. They used the life cast and they made a mask using his likeness. Funny as it is, 3 years later, it was used for Halloween for the Michael Myers mask. And the variety of those masks for Halloween was Emmett Kelly, Spock, and Kirk, and a couple other like presidential masks as well. In 1977, Don Post also got the rights to Star Wars, and they made 2 Vader masks. One that was just sculpted, and another one that was from the movie molds that you could buy for a really hefty amount. They also made the really famous Werner Herzog Nosferatu mask in the glass case and the cool fingers with the nails on it and stuff. Really cool piece right there. Also around that time, Caesar came to be as well, one of the coolest vinyl, French mask companies, but we're mostly focusing on them latex boys, you know what I mean, them latex dudes. So 1974, Be Something Studios is made by the Zagoni family. They hired Bill Weisham to start sculpting for them, and they made some amazing pieces like their classic skull, square corpse, fang face. The fang face, baby. That's like the face of masks, literally. They have some really amazing pieces, and unfortunately went out of business, I believe in 2024, which is horrible, which sucks. I hope they come back. Around the 70s, 1977, Charles Curtis was walking around with his family on Halloween. They were trick-or-treating, and a representative of Universal Studios comes up to him and he says, "Hey man," I don't know how it went, but he goes, "Hey man, we're gonna hire you and you're gonna sculpt some masks for us. We're gonna give you a license and you should start making masks." Pretty much that's how it went, maybe incorrect on that part. Savage Eye Masks was made in 1977, and he was making stuff for the Universal parks. He was making original works as well. And it was actually one of the first masks to include a zipper in the back. Also in the 70s, I believe 1978, the famous Distortions Unlimited was made by Ed Edmonds. I love that dude. I love you, Ed. I hope you're watching. I don't know. He was one of the first dudes to make a mask with eyes, but eye holes in like the crevice area, which was unheard of at the time, which is crazy. I know, but Ed Edmonds, amazing guy, that dude's a legend, and he helped kickstart a new style of like cooler, grungier masks, which was slowly coming onto the scene of, gorier masks and, like Nightmare 1 and Snow Beast and really cool aliens that inspired amazing amount of artists in the world. So that's pretty cool right there. Distortions made an amazing amount of masks, amazing. They even helped kickstart the haunted house industry, as is with the first haunted house animatronic that you can buy. They made Rotted Corpse, Cretin, Andromeda, Dead Man, which is the first ever Distortions mask in my opinion, because I watched the Mask Fan Addict video. Really amazing mask, and they were the first company to use like gloss on the eyes. Around the 80s, they were one of the biggest mask companies of the 80s. They were rivaling Topstone, they were rivaling, you know, it was Be Something Studios, Distortions, and Don Post. The three boys right there, just straight up clanging rubber together. And Morris Costumes ended up picking up Distortions in the late 70s as well. Distortions ended up getting a lot of licenses like Alien and the Tom Savini pieces like, you know, Creep Show and just so many awesome things. They were also going to get E.T. as well, but Don Post got that license before them. But they ended up making a little prototype. They ended up making some really awesome things. And they also invented the technique called the rub out or wipe away, whatever sounds more comfortable to you. Or an ink wash, you know, real stuff, man. You know the process, you spray ink, you wipe it off with an alcohol and sponge, you know, simple as that. They invented that technique. And they were really, really well known for making like gag masks, gore masks. And they also had one of the coolest masks in my opinion, the sixth finger from John Chambers' actual molds from The Outer Limits. Around this time in the 80s, Don Post was slowly falling behind, but they kind of gained popularity because of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch with the Skull, Witch, and Pumpkin mask, which just like blew them back up pretty much. Their latex was getting shorter because of the HIV crisis that was going on at the time, so they were using it for, you know, more, you know, safety out there, you know what I mean? They were unable to make quality things. Their latex was really thin, it was rotting faster. Their stuff they weren't making as much cool things as they wanted to. Until in 1984, they made the Freddy Krueger mask. That mask blew them out of the water. It was able to get them back into popularity essentially because it was the first Freddy Krueger mask. No one else made it except them. It was a great time for Don Post and Distortions. Be Something Studios was still making some really awesome fucking masks. They were making stuff for like Saturday the 14th. A lot of the masks from Be Something Studios was in there. Really great stuff, really great stuff. All right, guys, sorry to end it here, but stay tuned for the third and final episode of Mask History. We're gonna be covering 90s to now. So please stay tuned for that. Be prepared, Monster Kids for Life, like every social. Let's get on it. See you guys.
Yeah!